Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. Tottenham's trophy drought is over. Tottenham have been given a lifeline. Their season has been saved. They will be in the Champions League next season. They will get £85 million just for being in the Champions League next season. While Manchester United are sat in 16th. Manchester United have sacked off the last 3 months of the season to focus on the Europa League to then deliver that performance in the final. As a Manchester United fan, I am disgusted. I am disgraced by the fact that we've thrown off the Premier League for 3 months, not shown off in the Premier League for 3 months to deliver that in the final. Because I'm not saying this just because Manchester United lose, but that was a crap final. That was a crap final. Let's be honest, that Tottenham goal shouldn't have gone in the back of the net. But Luke Shaw and Onana both had bozo genes in them. I don't know if it came off Brennan Johnson. I don't know if it's his own goal. But that is the worst goal ever to win a final. And credit to Brennan Johnson for being there causing a nuisance. He does that best. You know, and credit to Spurs. Ange's game plan was spot on. Ven and Romero, they ruined everything. They defended like monsters. But I'm gutted. And I'm going to talk about Spurs. And I'm going to talk about the game. And I'm going to try not to be biased. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. I actually predicted this. I said I will always back United in a final because I feel like I have to. But I said if I was going to give you my honest thought on what my head was thinking, this is what I said. I went on We Are Tottenham TV a few days ago. And I literally said this 3 days ago. My head goes, oh, Man United going to score a goal because we can't score. And could Tottenham nick it? Brennan Johnson on the back post, sort of jammy goal kind of thing. My part of my head thinks Tottenham could nick this 1-0 and part of the bus and Brennan Johnson jammy goal. I literally said my heart will always back United. Casemiro and Bruno to show up and we win it 3-1. Surely we're going to show up in this final. My heart went with that, but I said my head tells me from watching every Manchester United game this season and 90% of Tottenham games this season. I've watched Tottenham. I've watched Manchester United. I know what Tottenham are like with Ven and Romero back. I said on We Are Tottenham TV, because I've watched Man United this season, it could be a 1-0 Tottenham win. Because I knew if Tottenham went 1-0 up, it's game over for United because we don't score, they can part the bus. And with that defence, they are good. They invited on a lot of pressure, but we know what Man United can't score. The only way Man United were winning that game is if Bruno had showed up, if Casemiro had showed up, and if we had a bit of luck. Because let's be honest, I feel like it's the season of underdogs. Palace win, Newcastle win, but Tottenham, they got the roll of the dice today. You know, they defended well. Ange Postecoglou schooled Amrin and set up perfectly, you know, to get the goal, press Man United, and then part the bus. But Tottenham just had the luck today. The Mickey van der Ven clearance off the line, the fact that that Brennan Johnson goal even went in. You know, they had that luck today, but you create your own luck through tactics, and Ange got his tactics spot on. Ange has adapted his approach throughout this whole Europa League campaign, and that is why Tottenham have won it. So while I'm gutted as a Manchester United fan, Tottenham defended fantastically. Ange's game plan was absolutely spot on, and I'm not surprised. I predicted it. I've watched Tottenham all season. I've watched Manchester United all season, and I know with Manchester United, we may actually look the better team in many parts of games, but we won't win the game because we can't put the ball in the back of the net, especially if we go 1-0 down and we've got a bozo in us. I said Onana, and I tweeted it before the game, it's my biggest fear. He'll make a mistake. He should have saved that. He can't be letting him go like that. You know, Luke Shaw and Maguire are always vulnerabilities. Højlund, I said, will ghost. Didn't even notice Højlund. The only way Man United win that game is if Bruno and Ahmad show up, and they didn't really. Ahmad had moments, but Tottenham was smart. Every time Ahmad had the ball, there was 50 players on him because Tottenham knew Mason Mount isn't a threat. Højlund isn't really a threat, but Tottenham knew, Ange knew that Ahmad was a threat. The minute Ahmad was on the ball, Richarlison, Basuma, and Doggy were there because Ange Postecoglou knew you defend well, you go 1-0 up, and you get Ahmad out of the game, and Man United won't be able to score. That game could have gone on for 20 more minutes, and I don't think we would have scored. And you've got to give Ange credit. He's adapted his whole approach in the Europa League. It might be seen as more negative, but it's professional performances. This is what Erik ten Hag did in the FA Cup final. It was a professional. Like, Man United wouldn't have made the final if Erik ten Hag kept his job. We wouldn't have made the final. But if Erik ten Hag was the manager today, it could have been a different result. Let's be honest. But because Erik ten Hag knows how to approach a final, and Ange did. Ange wrapped Romero and Van der Ven and Cottonmore for the final because he knows if they're fit, he can win it. You had no Kulusevski, you had no Bergwall, you had no Maddison. Yet, all your midfielders stepped up. And yet, people will say, but Tottenham had 23% possession of 3 shots. Yes, Tottenham had 23% possession of 3 shots and 0.00 XG in the second half. But Tottenham's game plan was smarter, and through that, they deserved to win. Because I don't think I can say Man United were the better team. Man United had more control, Man United had more of the ball. But Man United, other than Luke Shaw at the end, we failed to give Vicari anything to do. because Ange had shut us out. He got the pressure on early. He knows our centre backs, apart from Yoro, are vulnerable at the back, vulnerable playing out. Luke Shaw, a few missed passes from Maguire. And also, he benched Son, and I said, I bet he's benched Son because he knows that we're really bad at defending balls in the box. Puts Richarlison in, puts some balls in the box. He knows we're bad at defending that. We know he's bad at dealing with players running in late and it's near post. And Tottenham know that they put the ball in the box and you make some late runs, or you've got to put the ball in the box and use your head. You can score goals versus Man United. Ange knew that, and that was his game plan. Physical players, put the ball in the box, press Man United early, try and force them into mistakes. They forced us into mistakes. They won back the ball. They scored that goal. And knew all he had to do was park the bus. Get Ahmad out the game, triple team him, a doggy. Richarlison in that first half was immense. He was continuously tracking back. He was absolutely immense. A doggy dealt well with Ahmad, who was, had 20 minutes where he was causing issues, and that was really it. But he was the only player doing anything in our attack. Bruno Fernandes was playing deeper, so he was going to be limited. I'm surprised Ugarte didn't play or get any minutes, considering we spent 50 million on him. But Ange knew you keep Van de Ven and Romero fit. That's what he did. Even without his best midfield. He knew that he has the better attack and he has the better defence. Man United might have the better midfield, but they didn't show up today. And the sad truth is Tottenham wanted it more than Man United. And you could tell that. Man United have won 2 trophies in the last 2 years. And while this Europa League is important for Man United for the future, the financial side of things, at the end of the day, Tottenham wanted this trophy more. And you could see that with Basuma. You could see that with So. You could see that with Bentancur. Where was Casemiro? Where was Bruno Fernandes? Where was Maguire? Tottenham wanted it more. And they pressed Man United and they followed Ange's game plan. They got the goal. They put balls in the box and then they parked the bus. And United walked into the trap because we let Tottenham frustrate us. We let Tottenham waste times. We were trying to put the ball in the box and we knew that Romero was going to have that cover. We knew that Van de Ven was going to have that covered. And while Ange's tactics were not pretty, and while Tottenham did nothing in the second half other than defend, and people won't like that. People see that as negative. That is how you win trophies. That is how Jose Mourinho has won trophies. And Ruben Amorim has questions to answer. I'm not completely hammering out because I think it's the players. But in a final, it's not about I'm going to do this every week. Ruben Amorim it's not working at Man United, what he's doing. That's why I had a feeling, and I said Tottenham will win 1-0 because I've seen Manchester United play every game under Ruben Amorim, and it's the same thing every game. We have the ball, we don't look bad, but we don't score anything and we concede a jammy goal and we lose 1-0. Or it's 0-0. We can't score. We've not won in nearly 3 months in the Premier League. We've abandoned the Premier League, and this is the performance we drop. But the difference to me was Van de Ven and Romero being back. And I said, with them back, that's why I backed Spurs to win. Even with no Maddison, even with no Bergvall, and even with no Kulusevski, that's why I thought Spurs would win. The goal line clearance. The goal, honestly, that is the worst goal ever to win a bloody European trophy, isn't it? I'm fuming about that as a Man United fan. But what won the game for Tottenham for me is that Van de Ven clearance. Because if Van de Ven doesn't make that clearance, it's 1-1. And I think with the momentum Man United had, even though we probably wouldn't scored in a million years, I feel like it would have gone our way, just a momentum thing. And it would have given, because United, when they score 1, they can score 2 or 3, but it's scoring that 1, as you see versus Brentford, Lyon, Athletic Bilbao. Once we score 1, we can push on, but it's like we can't score that 1. So for me, that Van de Ven goal line clearance was the winner. He had a monster second half. I mean, look, he's coming up against Højlund, I get it, but him and Romero ruined it for me. They ruined it. The box defending, the organisation. Vicario only had to make 1 super save at the end, and that was that Luke Shaw's 1. Van de Ven clearance off the line. Van de Ven, Vicario had a few blatant easy saves to make, and Vicario was shaky. He wasn't much better than Onana, but when called upon, he made the save. He almost lost it with the clearance. But the centre-backs were dominant. They kept Højlund quiet. They kept Maguire quiet at all the corners. And then you have Richarlison. Richarlison was winding me up because he knew how to waste time. He knew he would just work and work and work. He ran himself into the ground, constant pressing and movement, ran himself into the ground. He was winding me up. Romero was winding me up. Mickey Van de Ven was excellent. And that's what won it for Tottenham. The defending, the resilience, the leadership. Their big players stepped up. Everybody stepped up. They wanted it more than Man United. And that's what's so disappointing as a Man United fan, to see Man United throw away the season the last 3 months and then just deliver this in the final. No Kulusevski, no Maddison, no Bergvall. Basuma, Sarr, Bentancur, midfield free. The last time he tried that in the Premier League, it was awful. But they stepped up. They were everywhere. Basuma was breaking lines, disrupting with him. He was everywhere. And every time Ahmad got the ball, he was there. He was like, this is Man United's threat. We've got to stop him. Bentancur led the tempo, kept things moving, huge performance. Tottenham played like it mattered more to them. They had more hunger. And look, the only thing I will say is Brennan Johnson, from being bullied into deleting his Instagram to potentially, I don't know if he scored it or if it was Luke Shaw on goal, to getting the goal. If anyone deserved that moment for the unnecessary hate he gets, it's Brennan Johnson. Top scorer for Tottenham as well this season. But nah, I'm gutted because Bruno Fernandes didn't show up today, but he's the whole reason we didn't even get relegated. And he's going to go to Saudi because we're not in Europe next season. This might keep you Romero for next season. But as a Man United fan, I'm gutted. I don't want to make this video. By the way, if you're wondering, like, why I've made a video on my other channel, my video on my other channel is just a rant about Man United. This is ECILA football, so this is non-Man United. So this video is just about Tottenham and more of Tottenham. My other channel is just talking about Man United, and to be honest, my video on my other channel was right after the game, and I think I just was salty and stuff. I didn't really think it through, to be honest. But yeah, I thought United just got outplayed. 4 defeats to Spurs. 4 defeats to Spurs. Anana, Hoyland. It's like playing with 9 men, isn't it? I'm really gutted. I'm really gutted. Ange got it spot on. Ange knew that we can't score. And I'm disappointed in Amarin. Didn't use Maino. Didn't use Garnacho too late. I'm disappointed in Amarin and his tactics and the players.